In 1978, Joseph Pistone, an undercover FBI agent, is assigned a risky mission to infiltrate the local mafia. To keep his identity secret, he assumes the cover name Donnie Brasco. His first stop is a local bar where he meets Lefty Ruggiero, a member of the Mafia. Lefty, eager to prove himself, offers Donnie a diamond ring he received from a strip club owner to sell. After inspecting it, Donnie tells Lefty the ring is fake. Lefty doesn't believe him, so Donnie accompanies him to the strip club to confront the owner. In the club, Donnie shows his loyalty to Lefty by beating up the owner, forcing him to admit the scam. Donnie gets the owner to refund the money and return Lefty's Porsche, which had been used as payment. Lefty is impressed by Donnie's actions and the two bond, with Lefty introducing Donnie to his crime family. This includes key members like Paulie, Nikki, and Sonny Black. Donnie quickly learns that despite Lefty's high rank, he struggles financially and often asks for money. As Donnie spends more time with Lefty, he adjusts his appearance to blend in with the Mafia world. Lefty begins to trust Donnie more, and they grow closer, even spending time together at Lefty's house. One evening, while sitting on the couch, Lefty asks Donnie about his past. Donnie shares that he has no family and grew up in an orphanage. Touched by Donnie's story, Lefty decides to take him under his wing, warning him that from now on, Lefty will be responsible for Donnie's actions. Donnie returns to his real home as Joseph Pistone, but his wife is upset with his constant absence due to his undercover work. After spending some time with his family, Donnie receives a call to report back to work. When he returns, Lefty tells him that their boss, Robert, has passed away. Sonny Black is now taking over the leadership of the gang. Lefty is frustrated, believing he should have been the one to take Robert's place. He talks to Donnie about his feelings, revealing how he feels his years of loyalty have gone unrecognized. Lefty also expresses his desire to leave the Mafia life and start over, but he knows it's impossible. He feels trapped by his lack of resources and the Mafia's grip on him. Meanwhile, under Sonny Black's leadership, the gang's criminal activities continue to expand, with hijackings and killings happening regularly. Donnie, all the while, keeps working on gathering evidence, using wiretaps to record conversations. Donnie's handlers introduce him to another agent, Steve, who wants him to recruit a Miami-based agent named Richie into the gang. Donnie knows that introducing someone into the group means he'll be responsible for their actions, so he initially refuses. But under pressure, he agrees to take on the task. Donnie then convinces Sonny Black to expand the gang's business into Florida, even though Lefty doesn't approve. Lefty scolds Donnie for discussing the plan with Sonny before consulting him, but Donnie persuades him by claiming that a friend in Florida needs a partner for a bar. Once in Florida, the gang settles in and enjoys a party. Lefty and Donnie visit Richie at his bar, but Donnie can't convince Lefty to vouch for Richie. Lefty is hesitant to take responsibility for the new recruit, fearing he'll be blamed if anything goes wrong. Instead, Lefty suggests that he and Donnie should take over the bar and run it themselves, planning to move to Miami while leaving Sonny Black in Brooklyn. Donnie disagrees with Lefty's plan but eventually gives in. Lefty feels that his efforts aren't valued in Brooklyn, so he's eager to make a fresh start in Miami. Lefty insists on throwing a party for the local mob boss, Trafficante, to get permission to move to Florida. Donnie asks his handlers to arrange a boat for the event, but they refuse, citing financial reasons. This frustrates Donnie, and he takes his anger out on the agency, smashing equipment and arguing with his team for not being more supportive. As Lefty continues to ask about Sonny's plans, he becomes suspicious that Donnie might be hiding something. Sonny also grows wary of Donnie's actions and starts questioning him about Lefty's intentions. Donnie refuses to betray Lefty, even when Sonny corners him, demanding to know the truth. Sonny warns Donnie to obey his orders or face consequences, but Donnie stands firm, refusing to answer Sonny's questions. Meanwhile, Donnie and Lefty begin planning to reach out to Richie to discuss their partnership further. However, Sonny, who is always watching, becomes more suspicious of their actions and keeps a close eye on them. As the tension builds, Donnie meets with his handlers once again, who finally agree to arrange a boat for the event. Donnie informs Lefty of the good news, though he knows the risks of continuing to play this dangerous game. Donnie had been deep undercover for a long time, blending in with the mob, and now it was time for a big test. After making arrangements for a yacht party, his boss, Lefty, invited the mob boss, Trafficante, but was upset when Trafficante insisted on meeting Sonny Black instead. Sonny, along with his crew, arrived at the party, and during their conversation, Sonny hinted that he knew about Lefty's plan to team up with Richie's club. Lefty began to feel uneasy, thinking Sonny might surpass him just like he had after Robert's death. His worries intensified when Sonny grew closer to Trafficante, and Lefty feared he'd once again be left behind. Lefty confronted Donnie, accusing him of leaking information about the deal, but Donnie denied it, assuring Lefty that he would never betray him. Later, Sonny shared his plans to expand his business into Florida and asked Donnie to represent him there by running the King's Court. Donnie, excited for the opportunity, agreed, introducing his own crew to Sonny. Lefty was furious, feeling increasingly sidelined. Donnie's new role caused tension in his personal life. His wife, Maggie, grew frustrated with his long absences and the strain on their family. She eventually asked for a divorce, believing Donnie wasn't prioritizing them. On top of this, Donnie received a call about Lefty's son, who had narrowly survived a drug overdose. Concerned, Donnie rushed to visit Lefty at the hospital. Lefty, who had grown fond of Donnie, opened up about his fears regarding his son's future. Donnie reassured him that he would always have his back. In Florida, Sonny celebrated his takeover of the club, planning a grand opening to establish his dominance. He handed Donnie a bag full of cash, instructing him to hide it in the car. Donnie obeyed, but disaster struck when the club was raided by the police. The raid was coordinated by Trafficante and Sonny Red, who wanted to weaken Sonny Black's grip on the city. The police destroyed the club, confiscated the money, and arrested everyone present. In jail, Sonny was furious with Donnie, questioning him about the missing money. Donnie lied, claiming the police had taken it. Sonny, frustrated and disappointed, regretted moving to Florida. Back in New York, Lefty grew suspicious. Convinced that someone in the crew had tipped off the cops, Sonny agreed and vowed to find the mole, planning to make an example of them. Donnie, hearing about their plan, was worried but continued to play along, careful not to reveal his true identity. Sonny's investigation into the leak led to Nicky, who had made a drug deal without informing Sonny. Sonny decided to take him out, and during a meeting, he ambushed Nicky and his crew, killing them all. Lefty shot Nicky and Donnie was tasked with disposing of the bodies. Lefty then confided in Donnie, explaining that they did it to protect the gang from the fallout of Florida. Donnie, furious, scolded Lefty for killing Nicky, pointing out that the real mistake had been made by Richie for not paying the cops up front. Despite his anger, Donnie reluctantly followed orders. At home, Donnie was confronted by two FBI agents who told his wife, Maggie, that they hadn't heard from him in weeks. They suspected Donnie had gone too deep and was now fully involved with the mob. Maggie refused to cooperate, feeling that the FBI had used her husband for their own purposes without proper compensation. Back in Brooklyn, Lefty ordered Donnie to find and kill Sonny Red's son, Bruno, if he wanted to be officially recognized as part of the gang. As they prepared for the job, Donnie was torn. He had been spending so much time with the mob that his behavior was changing. When Maggie questioned him about money he had hidden, Donnie slapped her in anger, immediately regretting it. He tried to explain that he was doing it all for Lefty, who had vouched for him and could easily have him killed if the gang found out he wasn't loyal. Lefty refused to leave the mob life, even when Donnie offered him the money, and it became clear that Lefty suspected Donnie might be an undercover cop. Lefty threatened to kill himself if Donnie was the rat, but Donnie swore he was loyal. Just as they were about to carry out the mission to kill Bruno, the FBI raided the location and arrested both men. Donnie's handlers informed Sonny Black that Donnie was actually an FBI agent, and Sonny, realizing he might be killed for bringing Donnie into the fold, began to prepare for the worst. Lefty, knowing he might be the next target, packed his things and told his wife to pass on a message to Donnie. If it was going to be anyone, I'm glad it was him. In a secret ceremony, the FBI congratulated Donnie for his successful undercover mission. He was awarded a medal and a $500 check, but it didn't feel like a victory. Donnie was torn between his loyalty to Lefty and the life he had chosen with his family. Maggie, despite her frustration, encouraged him to return home as the mission was over. Donnie's efforts had led to over 200 indictments and 100 convictions. But the danger wasn't over. A $500,000 bounty was still on his head. Donnie and his family were relocated to an undisclosed location for their safety, but the consequences of his choices would follow him forever. Lefty's world was falling apart, and Donnie had lost part of himself along the way. His mission was a success, but at what cost? His life, his family, and the Mafia were all in the past now. But Donnie would never forget the deep bond he had formed with Lefty, or the price they both paid. And you don't have to pay to watch a fresh movie recap. Stay in the lounge for a bit longer by clicking on the recommendations on the right. Subscribe and drop a like if you want to return for future recaps. Grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.